You hear me talk about what's happened to Main Street America many times, but what's happening in Pittsburgh with property value is absolutely frightening. One of the reasons why this mayoral race is important to all of us in this region, even if we don't live in Pittsburgh, it's still our city. But I want to throw something out and see what you think, and we'll talk more about it tonight. You know, I've noticed so many of these river communities, from the Beaver Valley to the Mon Valley to the Ohio Valley, have found new hope, new leadership. They're doing incredible things. Now more than ever, Main Street America has to wake up and start working harder than ever, because I believe it is going to be Main Street America and those places that I just mentioned that are going to help reshape Pittsburgh. The only way that we get corporate America and corporations from around the world to come into Pittsburgh to fill up those buildings, to make the values of those buildings go up, and put people back in the city that will generate revenue, meaning those commuters that work in those buildings, is by putting our best foot forward and start continuing to grow places like Monaca, places like Monessen, places in this region, Aliquippa, to Duquesne, to Braddock, to West Mifflin, to Midland. All of these places matter, and they're doing such a great job. But now more than ever, we as the citizenship of this nation must make sure that our backyards are cleaned up and ready for what is about to happen, which is going to be, I think, the most important time in our country's history since the industrial age of over 100 years ago. And that's why we need to start building, making, creating, and generating things in this region. Look, the technology is here. Partnerships as far as the eye can see. We are on the doorstep of doing great things in the world of technology. But it still comes down to the building trades and making things and products like steel and others that will guide this generation to future generations with those generational wealth type of paychecks. But more importantly, make this region viable, not just to our tri-state, but to the rest of the country. And also, I think, help generate the world. And when you look at the natural gas that we have, the Marcellus Shale, the Utica Shale, on a cold day like today, there are places that are even colder and need some sort of energy that they're lacking. And we can start distributing this commodity around the world, and it'll make us as viable as it was when the oil industry first started to pop up and now has generated billions upon billions and trillions, if you will, of dollars around the world. So let's think positive and let's start sweeping up our own Main Street to make it a better place for all of us. And hopefully people will see and realize that we know how to get it done in Western Pennsylvania. They will make their way to the city of Pittsburgh, our city, still someplace special to me, and now more than ever needs all of our help. We'll talk about this tonight, how we can all do our part on Rob Pratt Tuesday night, and for local news at 6 on KDKA.